Oh, that was terrible. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, play the game, as they say. I hope everybody is doing well out there in the world tonight. I literally just learned that song like 45 seconds ago, but I love it. I'll get better. Work in progress. Welcome to studentloanjustice.org. It is Friday already, February 17th, middle of February. I can't really say Happy New Year anymore. I can't really even say that we're beginning the new year because we are full on into the new year. So here we are. Hope everybody's doing well out there in the world today. A couple of announcements. We're going to be in Los Angeles in a couple of weeks, actually less. On March 1st, we're going to be in Beverly Hills, believe it or not, giving a talk to the Jewish Federation, the Jewish Free Loan Association. Thanks to Lisa Ansel at USC, we're going to be screening this film right here, as hopefully you can see, Lone Wolves. And so that'll be good. If you happen to be in Southern California and you have some time in the evening, 6:30 to 7 p.m. it starts on March 1st. Lisa, normally it's like a $25 or $35 admission fee. Lisa can get you in for free. So Lisa Ansell, Ansell. If you see her on this group, on this Facebook group, or you may be able to find her on Twitter. I don't know, but just whatever. Get a hold of me and I can point you to her if you need me to. So that's good. We're looking forward to that. I, again, have to make a quite urgent pitch for donations, dudes. Sorry about that, but it can't be helped. We still need, I think, around 8 people to donate $20 or more. If you could please just do that, so I can shut up about it. We can do what we do on very, very, very little funding, guys, but we cannot do it on absolutely nothing. We just can't. So if you appreciate all that we're doing, all that we're poised to get done, and so forth, pitch in, particularly if you have never donated or if you've never donated before, and take the load off of the backs of the sort of regulars, who the tried and true supporters, the veterans, the pioneers who have been pulling way more than their fair share of the load. So please help with that. If you have any questions or comments, and I can see them on Facebook or Twitter, then please, by all means, throw them out, and I am very happy to respond to them in situ. And I'm going to be better about finding the comments this time. In fact, I'm going to do it right now and dial them in while we're talking. So we are Student Loan Justice. We are the first, the oldest, and in many ways the only true grassroots group fighting only and absolutely for student loan justice. So, and I say this every night, but I think it's just so important that you understand, we don't expect that the people out there will know much about student loans beyond the fact that they have them and they suck. Well, we've been living and breathing this issue for many, many, many years, and even decades now at this point. We're coming up on 18 years in March. That we started studentloanjustice.org. And I've been researching this topic since like 2004. And so it's been a long time. We've learned a lot. And I would hope that the people out there would just take my word for it when I tell you this kind of all comes down to bankruptcy, guys. The founding fathers called for bankruptcy in the Constitution. And that is the cornerstone of what has become the most nationally threatening, catastrophically failed, big government loan scam in the history of the United States. I kid you not. It's crazy. Sorry you have to be stuck with it, but here we are. Hey, Johanna Tapa is with us tonight. Hey, thank you, Johanna. So tonight, guys, I just want to tell you a little bit about something that's going on. So there's a new bankruptcy process that was announced last year. And the history of this, believe it or not, that whole thing kind of started with our group. You know, we were pestering Greg Murphy, the campaign manager for Joe Biden, way back in like April 2020. And, you know, even before that, we had been talking to various people in Washington, D.C. about a good way that the Department of Education, if they wanted to, could return bankruptcy to student loans without Congress. And the way to do that is to simply stop opposing student loan borrowers in bankruptcy court. So bankruptcy is a nasty, nasty, vicious process for student loans. Almost nobody gets their loans discharged. It's disgusting. You have to go through something called an adversarial proceeding. You have to prove something called undue hardship, which is essentially impossible to prove. Like in any given year, 150,000 people file for bankruptcy who have student loans, and the number of people who get even partial discharges is usually in like the single or low double digits. So like 10, 20 people. It's terrible. And the reason this happens is because when somebody tries to go through this, what's called an adversarial proceeding, the Department of Education and its contractors like ECMC will oppose the borrowers in court. Well, they could choose to not oppose the borrowers in court, and by default, undue hardship would, for all intents and purposes, be met. So we were pushing Joe Biden, his campaign manager, about this. We were pushing people in the Senate about this to do something. And most importantly, we've been talking to James Cavall about this for years now. We've known James for decades, going back to 2010, 9. We've known James for a long time, since way before he was Undersecretary of Education. So we were very hopeful that, yes, indeed, the Department of Education would finally turn over a new leaf and stop opposing student loan borrowers in bankruptcy court. Well, this thing that we got a few months ago was billed as being that, but it's not that, ladies and gentlemen. What they did was they overhauled the whole entire process. So rather than plead your argument for undue hardship in front of a judge and with an adversary who may or may not show up, the Department of Education has commandeered, has captured that whole entire process and stolen it away from open court with a living, breathing, thinking judge. And they've decided that they are going to be the arbiter of whether you get undue hardship or not. And the way they organize this, along with the Justice Department, the writing is on the wall, and the writing is very clear that the bankruptcy judges going forward are just going to rubber stamp whatever the Department of Education recommends. So, guys, this is a trick. It's a cruel joke. The Department of Education, many years and decades of history have shown, they have no desire or intentions of canceling any loans. I mean, shit. Pardon my French, but in the very recent past, a few years ago, the Secretary of Education was threatened with prison time if they failed to cancel loans under the Defense to Repayment program. Like, that's how the Department of Education rolls. They will only cancel loans kicking and screaming and like under a court order often. This is the same Department of Education and their contractors, like these vicious, evil people, truly evil, at a company called ECMC, who make their living defeating bankrupt borrowers in bankruptcy court. They have challenged undue hardship claims because people went to McDonald's on Sundays. They challenged this one woman because she had a 15-year-old son who they would soon be able to legally work and help his mother repay her student loans. So this new bankruptcy process is basically the Department of Education saying, no, we're doing undue hardship now. If you want undue hardship, you have to file for bankruptcy first, not after, but first. Then you fill out some questionnaire from us or something, and then we will decide whether you get the undue hardship or not. So, the way it's being sold right now by bankruptcy attorneys all over the country is like, oh, the doors are open for bankruptcy now. The doors are open for bankruptcy. Yeah, I call bullshit. Number one, nobody knows what's going to happen. But number two, all the available evidence screams otherwise. So essentially nothing really has changed with bankruptcy, guys. This nonsense undue hardship standard still is in place uniquely for student loan, the only type of loan that has to go through this painful and extremely risky process, very expensive process. Student loans remain completely separate from all other loans in this regard. So, maybe the Department of Education has turned over a new leaf. I find that very hard to believe. The more cynical part of me thinks, it's more likely that the Department of Education was worried because bankruptcy judges were getting more and more and more lenient about determining undue hardship. A lot of them were beginning to go to, totality of the circumstances as, and essentially sort of viewing the debtors like they would any other debtor for any other kind of loan. So, the cynic in me says, I think the Department of Education was worried that the judges were going to bust this thing wide open, and they stole it back so they could shove it down into their bureaucratic bowels and have tight control and not have to worry about these loose cannon judges who apparently have some sort of a heart. It could easily go that way as well. But whatever the case may be, guys, this whole thing only underscores and emphasizes and brings into very sharp relief, very sharp focus that student loans should be treated like all other loans in bankruptcy court, period, full stop. So what we got was not that. If you were going to file for bankruptcy anyways, well then, yeah, fill out the questionnaire, see what they say. But I would be very careful right now, guys, because bankruptcy attorneys all over the country are advertising, hey, you can now way easier get your loans discharged in bankruptcy now. They don't know. They don't know a damn thing. I doubt there's been even one case decided under this new process yet. I don't think there has been. They don't know. They just want you in their office so they can blow smoke up your ass, and you pay them $1,000, $2,000 to file for bankruptcy. And then you'll find out later whether the Department of Education decides you qualify for undue hardship or not. So be very wary about bankruptcy attorneys telling you that this thing is the greatest breakthrough since frickin' the moon landing or whatever. It's not. So that's pretty much what I had to say tonight. I see we have some comments here. Hey, Matthew Kearns, Joanna Kearns with us tonight. Hey, Joanna, in Florida. Good evening. I am still trying to set up meetings for this cause. And if you are a member of this group, you should be too. From Joanna. That's right, Joanna. I've been saying this for the past few days. We really need, and this is the opening moves on the chessboard for this congressional session, guys. We really need to get into meetings with House representatives and senators, not the state legislature, federal. We need to get in phone conferences with both of your senators and your House rep. And we are asking everyone out there, including you, especially you, to actually do a tiny bit of work for this movement and this effort and arrange a phone conference with both of your senators. It'll probably be their staff. It probably won't be the actual senator. And also your one House rep. Again, probably will be their staff, won't be the actual elected official. That's fine. Make that happen. You live in their district. You are a constituent. You can make that happen. It's much easier for you to make that happen than us. And So we're asking everyone to do that. And we met with a senator staff yesterday. We met with another senator staff a couple of weeks ago. We've met with several senators so far. We have not met with, I don't think, any House representatives yet this year. Well, that's not completely true. But we need to do this, guys. I can do most or all of the talking. So you can give them my name, my title, Alan Collins, Student Loan Justice, Alan, ALAN, at studentloanjustice.org. My phone number is 202-594-1120. You're in their district, so you can, or in their state, so you can make that happen. Make that happen. I will bend over backwards to make sure that I get on the call. We're really good at talking to congressional staff and making our argument in a very, very strong way. We've been sharpening this blade for this edge we've been sharpening this blade to a razor's edge for many, many, many years. We're very good at it. And it does no one any good for me to be sitting here not meeting with these people. It does every bit of good for us to be in meetings with these guys so that we can educate them. And believe me, these staffers are not that bright, guys. They don't know that much at all about the student loan program. I'm sorry to say, that's just true. We do. And we need to be in meetings with these people. We can change their minds. We can move mountains. And that's really the most important thing that anybody can be doing for the next few months. I would love to be able to meet with all 435 House reps, their staff, and all 100 senators by, let's say, September or something like that. We have to, guys. This year is going to be very difficult for us. It's going to be far more difficult last year. We came this close to victory last year, but this close may as well be a mile away, because you either get it or you don't, and we didn't get it. We did not get our bills passed last year, and that was in a relatively friendly Congress. We now have a gridlock Congress, guys. It's going to be tough. So if you were sitting on the sidelines last 2 years, well, you need to turn over a new leaf, because obviously not enough people were helping, including you, last year. To everybody who did help, like Joanna and Laura and many other people, I salute you. We are the pioneers and the veterans, but way more people need to be helping this year, guys. That's just the fact of the matter. And so take that to heart, because these are your loans. This is your problem. And this is your livelihood that hangs in the balance. And we, on this group, the other groups out there are completely out to lunch. They are political animals. They're almost meaningless. The other groups are just fucking stupid. Some of them are straight up corrupted. This group is fighting the right fight. We are not going to see Joe Biden cancel any significant number of student loans, regardless of how the stupid Supreme Court cases go. We're not going to see meaningful loan cancellation from Joe Biden unless and until we get the constitutionally enshrined leverage of bankruptcy returned. So we were close last year. We need to fight way harder this year, way harder. Please remember that. And Joanna just reiterates, everyone should be helping. Alan Collins is extremely good at this job. The staffers are effing children. That is the God's honest truth. Yeah, compared to, I'm 53 years old, and yeah, these guys are just like still wet behind the ears, fresh out of like graduate school. They're like 25, 26, 27. So Laura Gale Sweeney says the Department of Education doesn't look out for poor borrowers. They don't care if the borrower's children will not get to go to university because their parents are having to pay off older big debts. Education tricked and scammed borrowers. So why would they help the poor debtors they fooled? Right, exactly. It just makes no sense. Suppose I don't know, suppose you steal someone's money through some weird thing or something, and those people sue. And they're like, yeah, we need our money back. You're right. You're in the wrong, right? And then the judge goes, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead. Judge says to you, okay, well, you seem like a decent guy. I don't know. I'm going to let you decide how much to return to these people. Like, that's essentially what this new bankruptcy thing is, guys. I mean, the conflicts of interest are just blatantly, eye-poppingly, mind-numbingly obvious. So don't buy it, guys. I'm half of the shit that we see in mainstream media, pardon my French. The whole point of all of that is to keep you on your ass. They want to keep you distracted. They want you waiting and watching and worrying and wondering what's going to happen. Well, as long as you're not fighting, nothing good is going to happen. That's the way it's been. And there's no good reason to think, and there's every good reason to think the otherwise. No good reason to think that anything good will happen with you sitting on the sidelines wondering what they're going to do. What are they going to do? No. Don't fall for it, guys. Don't give the bad guys the pleasure. Don't fall into their little trap. Don't turn on your blinders and, put on the rose-colored glasses and just keep telling yourself, oh, everything will be fine. Everything's going to be fine. They're good people in Washington. No. These people are swamp creatures. They are vermin. They're scum. They've always been that way. They want your money. So don't give them the pleasure. Don't allow yourself to be distracted and hypnotized by all this bullshit, pardon my French, that we see in the mainstream media. That's not good for you. It's not good for us. The only thing that's good for us is when you help us fight. And we need you. So if you're wondering what you can do, we'll rewind this broadcast by about 12 minutes and you will see. So it's very simple, guys. And remember, guys, this student loan system, the federal student loan program certainly is in catastrophic failure. Frankly, it's done. It's finished. It's gone over the cliff. In my humble opinion, it is both unwise and unpatriotic to ever pay another dollar into this lending scam. Unwise, unpatriotic. My best estimate, and I'm usually pretty conservative with my estimates, my best estimate is that maybe 20% of the borrowers, 1 out of 5, will resume paying on their loans when they turn the loans back on. Even before the pandemic, 60%, like nearly 2/3 of all borrowers, had stopped paying. So yeah, that's going to go up to 80, 85, maybe 90%. I don't know, maybe 100%. Student loans essentially are becoming one big national joke. But this could be a very painful joke, or we could maybe get a good ending. And the good ending begins with bankruptcy. When we get the constitutional leverage of bankruptcy return, it's a whole new ballgame for us, guys. And this new bankruptcy process is definitely not it. So be very wary. You heard it here first, guys. We'll see what happens. But rather than sitting there doing nothing and waiting to see what happens, we need to make things happen. Again, rewind this video by 13 minutes and let's see how many legislators we can meet with over the coming weeks and months. So there's some other comments here, guys. I'm just going to let them sit for now. I'll get back to them later, but I want to cut this off. I'm trying to keep my live streams more pithy going forward, more short and sweet and to the point. So I hope you get that. I will finally only say again, I have to repeat this. I'm sorry, but please donate, guys. Please. This is quite serious. We as a group may not even exist in a month or two at the rate that our donations have fallen off the cliff. And this happened in New Year's, but it's particularly bad this year. So I'm worried. I'm very worried. So please help. Okay, I'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend, everyone, and let's get this thing done. We never sleep. This battle never sleeps. If you're ever bored, you know what you should be doing. So good luck. I'll see you. I'll see you on Sunday. So good luck, everyone. Good luck. Godspeed, and God bless.